nor the WBA organization opinion on the matter. In fact, the WBA president stated, "It's the contrary. He feels and he believes, just like everyone else, Gervonta taking a knee was a clear knockdown, and it should have been counted as such."
The World Boxing Association has canceled the rematch between GervontaDavis and Lamont Roach after Lamont Roach appealed again. Talks about the rematch are now on hold while the organization reviews the situation and makes a final decision. A group of 7 boxing officials, including referees, judges, and WBA executives, will investigate to ensure a fair outcome. In the meantime, both fighters are free to take other matches.
Who won't fight next?
That's what I'm talking about. That's the question right there. I want to unify at 135. Me and Shakur already talked to each other, and if he's available and we can line it up, that's what we're going to do.
Really? Y'all wait, y'all spoke like this? Yo, let's get this popping.
For sure.
Like
what are you talking about? If he beats Tank, he's fighting Tank again. Obviously, there's a rematch.
We talking about past that. We talking past that because you got to give him the option and tell what he gonna do. So you talk personally to Shakur, no managers, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Personally. He cool.
Okay.
Gervonta took a knee. That's automatically a knockdown. These are the rules of boxing. This is like ABCDs at this point. If you confused, then you either really casual or just a fanboy. This is not up for debate. I mean, Gervonta can have an excuse to why he took a knee.
Even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds. I'm just a little frustrated.
This is the latest update, even though Lamont Roach recently said in an interview that the rematch would happen in June or July. He assured his interviewers that discussions about an immediate rematch were moving forward. On a podcast, Roach insisted that Willis should not be involved in the next fight. He strongly disagreed with how Willis handled the previous match, saying, "No way, he can't do the next fight. Look at how many mistakes he made. The knee, going to the corner for help. I'm not saying he cheated, but the coach wiped his face with a towel, which is not allowed. That should be a disqualification. When you take a knee and turn your back on the ref, that usually means you don't want to fight anymore."
Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of GervontaDavis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
Roach's request to the New York State Athletic Commission to overturn the fight result was denied. However, both teams had agreed that an immediate rematch was the next step, with reports suggesting it could happen by the end of June. Roach said, "I'm telling you right now, I'm signed and ready. We're just waiting on the other side." But things changed quickly after Roach's team pushed for another review. They had hoped this would allow the rematch to happen no matter what, but instead, their request unintentionally delayed it. Before the March 1st fight between GervontaDavis and Lamont Roach, there wasn't much hype. But ever since the fight ended, it's been the main topic of discussion in the boxing world.
You're now officially moving up to 35?
I mean, we gonna see. I mean, like, so I'm gonna be the champ at both weights.
Right.
And if there's no opportunity to unify at 35, I want to unify at 30.
And this all goes back to the controversial 9th round, where Davis took a knee, went to his corner to have someone wipe his face with a towel, and then jumped right back into the fight, without any penalty from referee Steve Willis. The fight ended in a majority draw, setting the stage for a rematch between the two lightweight fighters. After the fight, many fans started saying that Davis, who was favored to win, might have been overrated based on how things played out. However, few people are in a better position to answer that than Roach, who spent 12 rounds in the ring with him. On the March 18th episode of the It Is What It Is podcast, Roach gave his honest take on whether he thinks Davis is overrated. "I definitely want people to know that he was at his best that night. I'll say that 100%, Roach said. Just because he didn't meet expectations doesn't mean he fought a bad fight. People are saying he's trash now and overrated, but he's a good fighter. I was in there thinking, I have to bring my best. That's what made the fight so good. So there you have it. Both Davis and Roach should get the chance to prove who the better fighter is when they face off in their rematch later this year.
Naj, you got anything else for Lamont?
Yo, last question. I just want to know, how has your life changed since the fight, man? You know, obviously we follow each other on social media. I see your followers went up, all of the other stuff kind of going up. How has things changed for you since the fight has happened?
Bruh, literally overnight, it changed. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I got walk around with security. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I walk around with my peoples. Like, it's crazy. I can't do the same stuff that I used to do.
The story around undefeated WBA lightweight champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis has changed a lot since his March 1st fight against Lamont Roach Jr., which ended in a majority draw. Many believe Roach did enough to win and hand Davis his first professional loss. But when you consider that Davis wasn't penalized for taking a knee in the 9th round, a moment that should have given Roach a 10-8 score instead of 10-9 for Davis, it's clear that Davis may have walked away with a result he didn't fully earn.
Can't go to the grocery store. I can't go nowhere, bro. Like, I can't do nothing. And it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy because I know that that's what this come with if I get to the level that I'm supposed to be. But when it really happened to you, like, you sit back and look at it like, damn, like, this really happened.
Davis came into the fight as a heavy favorite, with many believing he's one of the hardest pound-for-pound punchers in boxing. Some expected him to easily land shots on Roach and finish the fight early, but that didn't happen. Now that the fight is over, fans are questioning whether Davis has been overrated and if Roach exposed his weaknesses. Newly crowned WBO lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who holds a 13-0 record with 9 knockouts and is not related to Gervonta Davis, hopes to fight the winner of the Davis versus Roach rematch. He recently shared his thoughts on whether Roach truly exposed Davis during an appearance on the Porterway podcast.
Hey, Davis.
Truthfully speaking, it wasn't really hard to focus. I've been an underdog before, obviously not a huge underdog, but when you go back to the Jamel fight, world title fight, I was an underdog. When you go back to the Hector fight, I was an underdog. Very disrespectful underdog, honestly. So now when we get here to the Tank fight, it's just like, all right, here we go again. I feel like when my back is against the wall or against the ropes, it's like, it's time to show up.
I don't think he got exposed, Gervonta Davis said about Tank. I just think Lamont was better than everyone expected. Lamont can really fight. I thought Tank would knock him out, so he proved me wrong. Lamont is better than we gave him credit for, but I don't think Tank was exposed or anything like that. Props to Gervonta Davis for keeping it real and not piling on Tank like many others in the boxing community.
The fight that they had was a phenomenal fight. That joint was like one of the fights, I feel like could be one of the fights of the year. Yeah. High level, skill level, 2 boxers in there, but still trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? And I understand a fight like that because I fight how they was fighting. I just feel like I do a better job at it.
Okay.
Many believe that Gervonta "Tank" Davis is no longer the fighter he was a few bouts ago, and Oscar De La Hoya's recent comments seem to support that idea. In an interview with Fight Hype TV, De La Hoya discussed undefeated WBC interim lightweight champion William Zepeda, who won the interim title by defeating Tevin Farmer in 2024. Zepeda is now preparing for a rematch on March 29th. Golden Boy Promotions believes that after Zepeda's fight with Farmer, he could face Shakur Stevenson and eventually have a title unification bout against Tank, especially now that Davis's rematch with Lamont Roach is uncertain. Shakur is a tough man to beat, but not impossible. His style is very complex, De La Hoya said.
Whoever with that is number 3 for me. That's how I feel.
Sauce Walker was just here the other day.
Yeah.
I asked him what he thought about the fight. He's a huge boxing fan, you know that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Huge boxing fan. He knows how to box too. He knows how to throw his hands.
He showed me some videos.
Yeah, he said,
I
want to see that.
Hell yeah.
I said, what do you think happened? He said, he said, Roach won convincingly.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, he said, I don't care about the knee. He goes, but I'm gonna tell you what, if I were Roach, I ain't doing it.
De La Hoya didn't hold back when addressing Davis. warning that if Tank performs the same way he did against Roach, the WBC champion wouldn't give him a moment of peace in the ring. This one fight seems to have shifted the momentum in favor of Shakur Stevenson, if a matchup with Davis happens. Right now, Gervonta Tank Davis isn't at his best. The draw against Lamont Roach Jr. earlier this month has left him in a vulnerable position. Previously, Davis avoided answering or committing to a fight with Stevenson, but after this result, he now seems more open to facing the WBC lightweight champion.
Who won Tank or Lamont?
This is my opinion.
Sure.
It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision, or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw.
Before anything else, Gervonta Tank Davis wants to lock in his rematch with Lamont Roach as soon as possible. With a questionable performance against Roach, Tank suffered the first blemish on his professional record, settling for an unpopular majority draw on Saturday night at Barclays Center. One judge scored the fight 115-113 for Davis, while the other two had it 114-114, leading to the draw. The crowd, reported at 19,250, reacted with loud boos, showing their disappointment with the decision.
He liked the knee, though. Was that a good call on the ref?
No, if you take a knee, man, if you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes,
With the draw, Davis, 30-01, retained his WBA lightweight title, while Roach, 22-1, 15 KOs, gained a lot of respect, even though he didn't become a two-division champion that night. "I'm a little disappointed in the decision. I thought I pulled it out," said Roach, whose WBA junior lightweight title wasn't on the line. "That's what two skilled fighters do, go in there and show off their craft. I definitely thought I won, but we can run it back." Davis also believed he did enough to win, especially in the final 3 rounds. But in the end, the result told a different story.
I could have stopped him. It's me. Definitely my fault.
Davis felt he was landing clean shots and breaking Roach down, but since Roach kept pushing forward, he played it safe to avoid mistakes. However, CompuBox stats showed Roach outworked him, landing 112 of 400 total punches, while Davis landed 103 of 279. Davis had a slight edge in power shots, connecting 93 of 210, compared to Roach's 87 of 252. The fight's most controversial moment wasn't a punch, but a decision by referee Steve Willis in round 7. Davis took a knee after a Roach jab, then ran to his corner to have his face wiped, later explaining that chemicals from his hair were getting into his eyes.
To get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that
Referee Steve Willis started counting a knockdown, reaching 2, but then changed his mind and let Davis get help from his corner, which wasn't allowed. If Willis had ruled it a knockdown or penalized Davis's corner for interfering, the judges might have scored the round 10-8 for Roach, which could have given him the win. "It should have been a knockdown," Roach said. "If that was counted, I would have won the fight." He says grease got in his eye, but if you take a knee and the ref starts counting, it should be a knockdown. Davis's explanation didn't sit well with the crowd, who booed him again. "It's all cool," Davis responded.
It's all right. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me, too. That was on me for sure. Because I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. And
fans can be fickle. One moment they love you, the next they don't. And then they love you again. Boxing star Terrence Crawford was one of many who spoke out about the fight, saying he believed Roach was robbed of a well-earned victory. "I've never seen someone take a knee and it not be counted as a knockdown," Crawford wrote on social media. From the start, it was clear that both fighters, who had fought twice as young amateurs, respected each other. Neither wanted to take a big risk and get caught by a counterpunch. Davis, 30 from Baltimore, started picking up the pace in the second round, using 1-2 counters, while Roach stayed disciplined, kept up the pressure, and made Davis work without giving him many openings to counter.
And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate true boxing media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won.
Roach made his first big move in the third round, landing solid shots to the body with both hands before connecting with a right hook around Davis's guard. In the fourth round, Davis picked up the pace, throwing 1-2 combinations to try and get Roach to take more risks.
I think
the most notable moment of the round wasn't a punch. It was a shoulder bump. Davis shoulder-butted Roach, and Roach responded with a right hand to the face.
The people that do.
Surprisingly, referee Steve Willis warned Roach for the incident, even though it was Davis who started it.
Definitely did more. Definitely did more. Just a lot going on. But again, it was my son.
In the fifth round, both fighters turned up the intensity. Davis started landing double left hands, while Roach backed straight out of exchanges. By the seventh round, anyone doubting Roach's ability to pull off an upset had reason to reconsider. Roach landed a counter right hand that awkwardly caught Davis on the right side of his face as he tried to turn away. The shot momentarily wobbled Davis, but Roach stayed disciplined, knowing that many fighters had been knocked out by Davis while trying to rush in after hurting him. Roach continued his success in the eighth round, as both fighters traded their rear power shots. Roach's right hand proved to be more effective than Davis's left, showing that he was still in control of the action.
And, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
All right, guys, raise your hand. We'll get you a mic, so try to be patient because we will try to get to you.
Hey, Lamont. Over here.
What's up?
Yo, what's up?